I'm Gavin.
And I'm Anne. Ever since I decided to follow Jesus with my whole life, I always wanted to go and see where he had walked and to be in those places that he had sat and prayed and talked to his Father. And so the opportunity to go to Israel was offered by Gavin's father, and we were so excited to take up that opportunity.
Going to Israel was an incredible opportunity to see the places where Jesus walked, to see things there where incredible events in history took place, to see the stadium in Caesarea Philippi where the first Christians were fed to lions, and to see the actual stadium, or to see the empty tomb of Jesus, or the Garden of Gethsemane where he prayed, or to swim in Lake Galilee. It was an unbelievable opportunity to see visually what we'd only previously read on paper.
One of the things that was amazing to have the opportunity to do was to be baptised. And when I became a Christian, I'd read this scripture in the Bible that says believe and then be baptised, and I thought that's okay, I don't need to do that. But for me at that time, I thought that's something that I would really love to do. And what better place than to be baptised in Galilee, where Jesus must have baptised so many. It was just absolutely incredible. And so Gavin and his father, Clive, baptised me, which basically they stood on either side of me and dunked me back in the Lake of Galilee and brought me back up again. And then Gavin's sister stood on the shore singing this most beautiful hymn as I walked to the edge of the shore, and that was completely life-changing, just knowing that I'd kind of left my old life and the old stuff behind and stepped into this new life, walking closely with Jesus.
I think I've never felt so close to Jesus as I did in the garden tomb. You go to the garden tomb and the stone is rolled away. There's no body in the tomb because I believe Jesus is alive, so the tomb is empty. But to be in that place where I believe Jesus was resurrected was just incredible. And then to sit in that tomb and realise, as it says on the door, he is not here for he has risen. That transformed my walk.
I don't know if you think about reading a book and you get an idea of what it says in a book about someone or something, and then you see that made into real life on the big screen at the cinema, and you go and watch it and you think, wow, I hadn't looked at it like that. And sometimes it's annoying because of the things you see, but sometimes it just expands the story in your mind and you see things in a way that you never dreamt that you could see them.
I think the biggest impact on me as a Christian from going to Israel was that things that previously felt like not fictional but not quite as real now become visual in my mind. I think in pictures so often, and just walk in places that felt like film sets where you knew Jesus had preached to 5,000 people in a field. You know, you could be heard as clearly a kilometre back as a metre away because it was a natural amphitheatre in the ground. To walk through Capernaum where Jesus spent so much time living with Peter and his mother-in-law. To go to these places you'd only read about made the whole thing so much more real.
There was something absolutely incredible about knowing that you weren't just reading the words in a book about a man, but actually it felt suddenly three-dimensional, seeing where he had sat and stood. And we sat in this cave called the Eremos Cave, and it overlooks Galilee, the Lake of Galilee, and it's just below where Jesus must have preached the Sermon on the Mount. And just sitting in that cave, you could almost sit where he'd sat and imagine him looking out on the lake and calming the waters as they were raging, as the storm was raging. And just being in his shoes and yet talking to him while you were sat there was the most incredible thing. And as Gavin said, I just felt so close to my Lord. It was amazing.